Good day, my audience at home. Welcome to Fame Global Academy. Today we are continuing from where we stopped. Before then, my name is Uncle Philip, your regular instructor. So we will be continuing with the past questions as we had in the last time. So we have taken 10. So today we take number 11. I decided to take time to write out the questions for you so that you can dig down the questions while we try to explain the answers. Now, the question here is the money market equilibrium is defined as dash. The money market equilibrium. You know, in the market, you have two major key holder in the market, which is demand and the supply. The demand has something to offer, and as well as supply has something to offer. Now here, A, we said when the demand and supply of money are equal. When the demand and supply of money are equal. You know, we talk about equilibrium. Now, equilibrium means it has come to a certain point, you know, where this marker, X, is what we refer to as equilibrium. Even in physics too, you'll be hearing that the total clockwise moment is equal and must be equal to total anti-clockwise. So in economics, you have what is referred as what as equilibrium. Each time you have the demand and the supply at this point, it's not dangling to this side, another is dangling to this side. So this point at which it is what referred as what equilibrium. In B part, we said when demand is greater than the supply of money, it does not fit in here. It does not fit in here. Number B does not fit in there. Then C, we said when demand is less than supply of money, it still does not fit in here. You know, when you are reading these questions, you read the question carefully and look at the options. Now, in this question, what you are considering is what referred as what equilibrium. Now, you come to the D point of it there. We said when supply is greater than demand of money, this option does not equally fit in here. Now, the only option that fits in here is A. A is the right option for this particular question. It said when the demand and supply of money are equal. So number A fitting into equilibrium. Don't forget the first explanation I gave to you that in economists will always use equilibrium. Even in physics too, they use equilibrium in a way, telling you that this thing must be at this point. It's not bending, it's not going this way. So it's at this point. So I hope you will pick the questions and the relevant answer that match to this particular question. We move over to the next question, number 12. Now, number next question here is an economic activity which coexists with inflation is referred to as dash. An economic activity which coexists with inflation is referred to as dash. You know, by the word inflation, we're talking about increase in circulation of plenty money in the market. Plenty money in the market, pursuing whereby you have plenty demand, pursuing plenty money in the market. So we looked at inflation. Now, in economics, inflation is one of those key factors that is used to control more money in circulation. Now, A, we have stagnant inflation from the world stagnated in such a way that Let's see how to stabilize it. Now we have what we call inflationary spiral. Now the money that is on the high side in the economy, we are looking for which one will be more better to use to control too much money or so much money in the economy. Now we have what we call slump inflation. By slump inflation, we mean there is some idleness. Now economists create, in fact the economists, they are the one who creates a kind of idleness. Now when it is being introduced into the market, is these factors are not visible, but the issue is that there are strategies they project into the economy to make labor, the demand for labor to drop. Now we have one called inflationary gap. Inflationary gap. Now I told you before that this one has to do with more money in the circulation. Now an activity which coincides with inflation is a fair to ask. The only way that this one can be taken care of, the only way that inflation in the economy can be taken care of, is when you have what we refer as what inflationary gap. Now it is a gap that is more suitable to bridge inflation. So by inflation, there is plenty money in circulation, whereby you have plenty item to pick. The cost of living becomes so high. So the only way to check that economy is to introduce what is referred as what slump inflation. And by slump inflation, we mean facing is an idea that the central bank introduce into the market. Most of the time now, like you have trying to borrow money, if they don't put some gap. Now before now, people were borrowing money from financial institution at the rate of 3%, and all of a sudden these people decided that the only way to check these excesses in the market is to take it up to reduce investment. And then as much as investment is being reduced, of course the inflation slumped. It comes down. The demand of some certain thing comes down, because you need money to project some investment. But when there's no money to project some investment, you discover that people have nothing to do, rather than they begin to think of what alternative. So here we beat slump. So he said, which introduces what to call an idleness. Idleness is introduced into the system. People are no longer investing. A situation whereby people are no longer investing. Something has been projected into the economy to reduce those excesses. All right, please you pick down the questions and take some time to go through it and make your right choice. So here we have picked slump economy. Now the next question here is an instrument used by the central bank to fix commercial and merchant bank total credit to domestic economy is dash. Now whether we like it or not, you see, the economic institution and political institution, they are the one that rule the country. The economic institution and political institution, these two institutions are the major wheel that rules the world economy, or the world that revolves the wheel that controls the economy, the movement of the money in circulation. Now an instrument used by the central bank to fix commercial and merchant bank total credit to domestic economy. Now here we have monetary policy. See, in economy you have plenty lot of policy. All this policy is to checkmate the flow of income, the flow of money in circulation. Now tax has already now been introduced, and even as we talk now, civil servants are already crying out there that they have removed 8,000 naira. In fact, it is pay as you earn. 8,000 naira, 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira has been introduced into the economy. I kept looking at this movement. Government have not really put money to have removed another tax again. Now, from the one they are giving you before, another policy has already now been created, to clamp down, the economy, to attract money from the pocket of the poor civil servant in Nigeria. So here we have, monetary policy. By monetary policy, is a name given to the movement of all this money in circulation. Now, we are telling you now that, the poor may not, really pay tax. But the issue there is that when it comes to, this policy, it cut across different places. Now, take for instance, going to pick money from POS. It looks as if they are not taking any money from you. That money looks inconsequential to you, but to them, that 100 naira they are collecting, they have some share from it. Now we move over to fiscal policy. All these things are the policies that govern Nigerian economy. We're talking about, the income, the gross income, the income and the expenditure of the country lies here. The income and the expenditure of the country lies here. And that is why most of the time you discover that for government to put money for workers, plenty lot of constitution is put into place. So in fact, government, they are the highest, further mathematics. They are the highest further mathematics, and they are the further higher economists. Now here you have credit ceiling. By credit ceiling, we mean you can't go beyond this point. Now don't forget that we're looking for instruments used by the central bank to fix commercial and central bank, merchant bank. You know fully well that these are the money bank. These are the money bank. You are looking for money, it is this bank that will give you. You are looking for the other one, they are the one attending to you. Then here you have open market operation. Here too, they are equally what medium. But for this particular question, the answer here is the one we refer to as what? Credit ceiling. Just like I've said before, that the essence of having a slumped economy is to make sure that what we stabilize economy.